Ever wondered how the City of Edmonton determines your property tax bill? Let's find out. The property tax process starts in December when City Council confirms the city's budget for the next year. This budget includes costs for roads, parks, police and fire services, libraries, snow removal, and all the other services provided to residents. About half of these operating costs are funded through property taxes, and the city does its best to give Edmontonians value for their tax dollars. So, how does the budget affect what you pay in taxes? Think of the total property taxes collected as a pie. Council decides how big the pie is. Then, to figure out how big your piece of the pie is, we use property assessment. City assessors look at many factors, like the size of your lot, its location, and your home's age and size to make an accurate estimate of your property's market value. Since property values rise and fall at different rates, we compare your property's change in value to the changes in the overall market to help figure out your fair share of the pie. And we send you a property assessment notice with your estimated value. Okay, so what happens if your home's assessed value goes up? Does that mean you pay more taxes? Not necessarily. Let's say that the cost of providing services to Edmontonians went up from last year, so Council approves a 1% property tax increase. And let's say the overall property market went up by an average of 3%. If the assessed value of your home went up by more than the market value, say 4%, your property tax increase will be higher than 1%. If your assessed value decreased or increased by less than the 3% market average, your tax increase will be less than the 1%. You might even pay fewer taxes than the year before. The change in your property tax bill from year to year depends on how your property value changed relative to the change in the overall market, as well as the change in the city's budget. City Council does a final check on the budget in the spring and confirms the exact amount of property tax revenue to be collected. Property tax bills are then sent out in May. Taxes are due in full by the end of June, unless you sign up for the monthly payment plan, which spreads your tax payments out monthly over the course of the year. Then, in the summer, the whole cycle begins again when the city starts assessing properties for the following year. When you get your assessment notice, it's important that you review it, compare your property to similar properties, and contact the city if you have questions. We'll do our best to provide answers and make sure the assessment accurately reflects the value of your property. For more information, check out edmonton.ca/assessment and edmonton.ca/taxes. You can also sign up at myproperty.edmonton.ca to find out more and get your notices online.